The search for a missing person is now a search for a murder suspect, the latest on an investigation in southern Kentucky.
Investigators accuse her of giving her child a deadly dose of vinegar. Why a Lexington mother pleaded guilty in court today.
I'm Mike Byer in McGoffin County, where a drugstore owner gets a surprise letter in the mail from a previous shoplifter. But a letter wasn't the only thing that was inside the envelope.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. It started as a missing persons case, but tonight police in southern Kentucky are searching for a murder suspect after a body was found in a well.
Police say a woman's body was found in a well near Brammer Hill Ridge Road in rural Wayne County. And they tell us they've already identified a suspect. Our Phil Pendleton has been on the scene all day. He has our top story at 6.
The woman's body was removed from the bottom of a 20-foot well about 2 o'clock Friday afternoon.
It is going to be a homicide investigation, and we are actively looking for a suspect at this time.
Police say that's 29-year-old Joseph A. Jones, who is to be considered armed and dangerous. Police say they were told about the human remains in the well early Friday morning and discovered the remains after responding to the well off Tobear Road. That's a gravel road off Brammer Ridge Road east of Monticello. Police say it was quite a task to remove the body.
Earth moving equipment. The fire department was dispatched to assist in pumping the water out of the well, and the rescue squad assist in retrieving the body.
Police actually fanned out across 2 different scenes this morning. The first here at the well, the second at a residence on Brammer Hill Ridge Road. Police aren't saying much about that home or the evidence they collected there. It's not known how the woman died.
The only thing that comes to mind is it's just sad right now. It's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Police say they don't know the age of the victim or when she was put in the well. They're also not commenting on her relationship to Jones. In Wayne County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
The Wayne County coroner says an autopsy is scheduled for tomorrow.
A Lexington mother now admits to playing a role in her son's death. Today, Dia Adams pled guilty to criminal abuse. She was originally charged with reckless homicide in connection with the death of her son Joseph in 2011. Kristen Kennedy was in the courtroom when Adams addressed the judge.
Dia Adams fought back tears as she told the judge about life since her son's death.
I woke up wondering, what if I had done something different? What if I had made a different decision, a different choice? What if I hadn't done the thing I chose to do?
Joseph Adams was born with an intestinal disease, and she says she had to watch what he ate. Investigators say back in 2011, she gave him so much vinegar after finding out he ate sugar and dairy that he died.
There was absolutely no way in this world I would have done what I did or reacted in the manner in which I did if I had been able to foresee what ended up happening.
After several days of extensive hearings, Judge Goodwine ruled earlier this year there was no scientific evidence vinegar caused his death. Adams' attorney Matt Boyd says the case has taken a serious toll on his client's health.
It's been a difficult case, and it's one that she's chose to end today and will be sentenced in about a month so that the family can heal.
The Commonwealth agreed to amend the charge to criminal abuse, 3rd degree. Adams will face 12 months in jail.
We could have offered her 500 years, and we don't think that's fair.
Adams will be back in court for sentencing in June. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
The Commonwealth has recommended the maximum amount of time for a criminal abuse 3rd degree charge.
2 people were taken to the hospital this afternoon after a vehicle hit a train. It happened on Waveland Museum Lane, which is near Nicholasville Road in Lexington. And the fire department says the train kept going after the crash. They believe the engineer just didn't realize the collision even happened. Monique Blair is live at the scene. And Monique, from what I understand, the 2 people in the car are lucky their injuries were not worse.
Yes, Sam, very lucky. Now you can see that SUV behind me right now as the tow truck is getting ready to haul it off. Now the SUV did have some fairly significant damage to the front and to the back, but I talked to the driver's sister who tells me this was a close call and she is just thankful her sister is alive. Lexington police say this accident happened just after 4 o'clock. They say the driver of the SUV was coming from Nicholasville Road. Police say the railroad crossing arms were down and the signal lights were flashing, and many cars were stopped here as a train was moving through. Police tell me the driver wasn't able to stop her car as she was approaching, so she went into the opposite lane of traffic to avoid hitting the stopped cars, and that's when police say she hit the train. The driver's sister tells me her sister and the passenger were hurt, but both suffered very minor injuries.
Lucky she's alive. I'm on my way to the hospital. I'm so happy, so glad she's alive. Oh, it was a heartbreaking. Yeah.
Now, police tell me the train didn't stop because it didn't know it had been hit, but firefighters have notified the train company, and I'm told it will stop and assess its damage at its next stop. I'm reporting live in Lexington. Monique Blair, WKYT.
Very, very lucky. Now, Waveland Museum Lane was shut down for about an hour, but it has since reopened.
Winchester police have identified the man they're looking for in connection with a violent robbery yesterday. Police say a man entered the Cash Advance America on Bypass Road and pointed a gun at a clerk. Police want to question Aaron Vasquez about the incident, but they believe he is armed and dangerous. Vasquez could be in a 2008 black Infiniti with California plates. He used to live in Mount Sterling. Police say Vasquez could be with his wife, Erica.
A Knox County School Board member accused of cheating on the GED exam has resigned. The Knox County superintendent accepted Dexter Smith's letter of resignation today. Smith said he had taken the GED after school leaders learned that he didn't have a high school diploma. But state police say their surveillance video shows someone else taking the GED for him. Because of the resignation, the Kentucky Attorney General says their investigation will be suspended. State police say theirs will continue.
We have received information that Mr. Smith did resign today as a Knox County School Board member. However, Kentucky State Police does have an open investigation on Mr. Smith, and we will continue that investigation. And we're just waiting at this time for the Commonwealth Attorney to allow us to present this case to a Knox County grand jury.
The board is in the process of trying to fill the vacant spot. In a letter, the superintendent says he will appoint someone.
New tonight, we have learned that a Lexington high school dealing with claims of harassment among students is putting together a committee to deal with issues at the school. Earlier this month, the mother of a former Lexington Catholic high school student came forward saying her son was harassed and threatened by a classmate over his race. Since then, more former students have come forward with allegations of sexual harassment and assault. The school's Board of Trustees says they will work with school administration to look at current policies and improve the culture of the school. They also say they will create a school life and culture committee to oversee diversity, ethics, and cultural competency initiatives at the school.
Showers and storms making their way across the region tonight.
But once they move out, we are tracking some really great weather for our weekend. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look at your forecast.
Yeah, guys, forecast playing out as advertised so far today, and we're hoping that's the case over the weekend. We have a lot of good-looking weather blowing into the Bluegrass State, coming on the heels of some hail-producing thunderstorms a little earlier. Spiraling bands of showers and storms out there right now. Defender Radar Network take you into far southeastern Kentucky. Some healthy thunderstorms from parts of Knox County, just to the north of Middlesboro, here into Bell County, north of Harlan, into parts of Leslie and Perry counties. Really now coming down. Skies are lighting up and likely getting in on some small hail. Another little thunderstorm weakening on top of Campton. That is heading toward the Candle City area there into Morgan County and southern parts of Morgan County, Magoffin County. We'll get in on some of that. Lexington Metro, Georgetown, Frankfort, Hello Versailles, Nicholasville, and Richmond. Not a whole lot to write home about. Stuff to our north is trying to drop in from northwest to southeast, but watch that hour-by-hour future radar and notice how all of that begins to dissipate as soon as the sun sets, leaving us with a partly cloudy sky that'll carry us through the overnight. So the storms move out, good-looking weekend, ready to move on into town. We'll track that and potentially a stormy pattern in the 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
It's been 5 months since a Richmond police officer was shot and killed during a robbery investigation. Today, Officer Daniel Ellis's family and friends gathered for what would have been his 34th birthday. In an already memorable day for them, the Richmond Police Department held a dedication ceremony to rename the police station after Officer Ellis. There was a balloon release and a plaque was unveiled outside the front entrance for the station.
Anyone that walks through these doors will always know that the Richmond Police Department and the city of Richmond honors this fallen officer.
He was a loving, caring person. Besides being a police officer, I want him to remember that.
And that is Officer Ellis's son, Luke, and his widow was also there, of course. Ellis will be honored next month during National Police Week in Washington, D.C. His name will be added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial.
It is never too late to say sorry. Last week, a drugstore owner in Magoffin County received a letter in the mail from someone who shoplifted and regretted it. Mike Byer talked with the owner of Prater Drugs, who says this letter has renewed his faith in the goodness of people.
Just never had that to happen before in all the time I've been here.
Tom Frazier has seen just about everything in his 49 years of being the owner and pharmacist of Prater Drugs in Salyersville. But last Friday, Frazier received an anonymous letter in the mail that took him by complete surprise.
I opened it, and this is what was in it.
Two $50 bills and an apology letter that reads,
"Some time ago, I took merchandise from your store without paying for it. The cost of the item was around $80. So I'm enclosing $100 to cover the cost of those items, and I am sorry that I did this, and I just want to make it right."
Even though the letter says around $80 worth of items were taken, the person sent $100.
They overpaid for it $20, and I'd like to give $20 back to everyone that was in it.
Now, Frazier isn't sure which items were taken or when it happened, but he says that isn't important. He says what's important is that someone turned a bad choice into a positive light, a lesson he says we can all learn from.
Kind of tells you that their conscience was bothering them because they had stole something, and they wanted to make that right. Some people still believe in the Lord and try to do what's right.
In Magoffin County, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Indeed, a good lesson for all of us on this Friday. Frazier says he wants to thank the person who made up for their mistake. He says this shows there are still good people in the world.
Coming up after the break, thousands of teachers nominated for a huge honor, but only 10 remain. We will meet a Lexington music teacher in the running for the Music Educator Award. Plus, later in sports, Jamal Murray creates his own logo. How it'll remind you of this past season.
Here's a fun way to control your luck. It's a game called Keno. You can start with $1. You pick your numbers, your odds, and your wager. And the winnings, well, they could be major. Just pick your numbers and hope you win. A few minutes later, you can play it again. Now play Keno wherever Kentucky lottery games are sold.
Three new kinds of jaw-dropping primetime burgers, only at Frisch's Big Boy.
What's your RAV4 for? It's for getting places you could never get to before. It's for going out on the town in style. It's for your honey-do list. It's for 34 mpg in the new RAV4 Hybrid. How far will you take it? The 2016 Toyota RAV4 with available all-wheel drive and more technology and safety features. Lease a RAV4 LE now for just $199 a month, or this RAV4 Hybrid for only $229 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
By the numbers, Whitaker Bank loves the Kentucky communities we serve.
1,876 small businesses in Kentucky were financed by Whitaker Bank last year.
Whitaker Bank helped 2,415 Kentucky families make a house a home last year by financing their mortgage.
Over $300 million loaned to Kentucky families and small businesses to help them achieve their dream.
We share your passion, Kentucky. Love the bank that loves you back. Whitaker Bank is uniquely Kentucky.
He sleeps hot and I sleep like a normal person.
Like a normal person.
It's a nice dream.
What I love about the Tempur-Breeze bed is cool. So you're not too hot, too cold, it's like perfect.
When I sleep on it, it's a consistent night's sleep. It's beautiful. Sleep cooler. Wake more refreshed. Discover the new Tempur-Breeze.
Now at Sleep Outfitters. Save hundreds on Tempur-Ergo adjustable bases while supplies last. Plus, get 0% APR financing for 5 years. Only at Sleep Outfitters.
I have to like my doctors. I've got to feel like they have a personal interest in me. Not that I'm a basketball coach, but that I'm somebody they know and they are concerned about. I could go any place for my medical care, but I chose Danville and the Ephraim McDowell Medical Center.
A trusted leader in heart care, Ephraim McDowell Regional Medical Center, where excellence is our only standard.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid, the SUV that dares to go beyond utility. Lease the 2016 NX 200 Turbo for $349 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
Three new kinds of jaw-dropping primetime burgers, only at Frisch's Big Boy.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Out of 4,500 nominated music teachers, a Lexington teacher is one of 10 finalists for a big honor.
10 music teachers from 10 cities and 8 different states are finalists for the 3rd Annual Music Educator Award. The Grammy Foundation visited Lexington's Edith J. Hayes Middle School today to present Lois Wiggins with a finalist award.
One of the neatest parts is that I've heard from so many of my former students from 15, 20 years ago. And to the thought that I did something that has impacted their lives even that far out is just amazing.
The Music Educator Award recognizes music teachers who have made a significant contribution to the field of music education. Wiggins and the Hayes Middle School music program each received $1,000 from the Grammy Foundation. A music teacher from Lincoln Elementary School in Louisville is also a finalist for the award.
And new tonight, Central Kentucky is one of a popular rockers' tour stops this fall. John Mellencamp will appear at the EKU Center for the Arts in Richmond as part of its extended Plain Spoken Tour. Tickets will go on sale next Friday, April 29th, and the concert is October 26th.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, we're singing a little ditty about nice weather out there today across central and eastern Kentucky. Jack and Diane would be enjoying a day like this. Look outside at this beautiful shot of our WKYT weather garden out back and the rolling bluegrass behind it. Blue skies over top. At times today, though, we've had some showers and some thunderstorms in progress. 65 degrees right now into Lexington, so we are much cooler than where we have been. Of course, we've been spoiled over the past week or so. Can you pick out areas where it has been raining, at least over the past hour? Upper 50s to low 60s into parts of eastern Kentucky. Defender Radar Network, as expected. Told you yesterday we thought we would get some hail-producing thunderstorms. Indeed, we've had several of those kind of covering the ground in a few spots. Very strong line of thunderstorms now from southern Perry County back into northern parts of Bell County. Folks, right on top of the Pineville area, you're getting in on a healthy thunderstorm that extends to the northeast. You're watching us in Pine Mountain down toward Cumberland, the Harlan area. That'll be rolling on into town as well. That extends just to the south of Hazard, Viper down to Daisy and eastern parts of Leslie County. A lot of thunder and lightning there. A little thunderstorm. It's small, but it is on top of Campton, Mountain Parkway, heading over toward Cannell City in the southern parts of Morgan County. Lexington Metro, not a lot going on as of now, though an area of low pressure continues to spin into the Bluegrass State and the Ohio Valley, giving us at least some of those scattered thunderstorms out there this evening. How do we look over the next few days? Excellent. 70 tomorrow. Hang tough. You wake up to a little gray sky tomorrow. Sunshine comes into the afternoon right around 70, pushing 80. Sunday, I think Monday has a chance for some low 80s across the entire area. Breaking down that Saturday forecast. Take them one day at a time. 40s in the morning. Some clouds around into the afternoon, though. We're going to break out into mostly sunny skies, 65 to 70 degrees. Watch how quickly any shower or thunderstorm this evening begins to diminish by 11 o'clock on that hour-by-hour forecast. 40s tomorrow morning. Clouds in eastern Kentucky getting on out of town may keep you into the low and mid-60s, though. 65 to 70 for the rest of the area. How about that Sunday forecast? Little nip in the air with some low 40s in the morning. Into the afternoon, though, 75 to 80, a strong possibility. Bring it on. 81 on Monday. Pattern from there stays warm, but we will increase the humidity factor. And with a big temperature gradient setting up across the country, that could lead to at least rounds of scattered showers and storms Tuesday on especially.
I think we're ready for the weekend.
I think we are. Can we start it now?
You ready?
I'm ready.
I know it.
Let's go.
All right,
Let's go. Brian, Mark Stoops offering a scholarship to a local football player.
Ready. And the Scott County product is still a freshman at Paris High School, celebrating today with a gift which they hope will lead to more championships. I'll explain next in sports.
First Alert Weather is brought to you by Columbia Gas of Kentucky.
Hey, man. Who do you think Captain D was? Captain D was actually regional semi-pro hockey captain Doug LaCour. Fueled by his voracious love of seafood, Doug would punch holes in the ice with his bare hands for a mid-practice snack. You're full of it.
He sure is, Paul. Full of Captain D's Southern-style whitefish, topped with a special blend of Nashville hot seasonings for our Nashville hot fish. For full meals at just $4.99, it's gotta be D's.
Want to fill your garage with the best value brand in America that costs less than the competition? Honda's got it. During Honda's Dream Garage Sales Event, redesigned 2016 Accords, the #1 selling sedan, just $199 a month. Or drive with 0 down, 0 security, and 0 first month's payment. Accords, available with Honda Lane Watch, Brake Assist, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and more. Just $199 a month or 0 due at signing. Honda's got it at your Central Kentucky Honda dealers.
Shouldn't you have a checking account that makes your life easier? Introducing Easy Checking from Republic Bank. Relax with no minimum balance or monthly maintenance fee. Easily send money through our app with mobile pop money. Remembering your password is as easy as scanning your fingerprint or eye using iPrint ID. And for easy access to your money, you can use 85,000 surcharge-free ATMs worldwide. Easy Checking for your hard-earned money. We're Republic Bank, and it's just easier here.
Unclaimed freight notice this weekend at American Freight. Over 1,000 truckloads of living room furniture. 7-piece living room groups that include a sofa, love seat, coffee table, 2 end tables, and 2 designer lamps. You get all 7 pieces from only $398 complete. Free layaway, same-day delivery. Come to the loading docks this weekend only at American Freight in Lexington, 272 West New Circle Road next to Walmart across from Jalapenos. Phone 226-0008.
If time is infinite, why is there never enough of it? A John Deere One Family tractor with Quick Park lets you attach and go. iMatch Quick Hitch gives you more time for what you love, so it takes less work to do more work. Auto Connect Drive Over Mower Deck? Done. They're not making any more land, but there's plenty of time if you know where to look.
Save at Limestone with an E-Series mower and loader tractor package. Find details in a store near you at limestoneflw.com.
The sensation salad is so good. It's like change your life good. You have your own late night show?
And we are back. We're back with Sarah. Sarah, I'd like you to meet Liam. Liam and his lemur.
Life-changing? Maybe. Indescribably good? Definitely. The Sensation Salad is back. Chicken fingers, crispy wonton strips, Asian slaw, honey sesame sauce, and a veggie egg roll. Only at Zaxby's.
Paris High School has a wonderful athletic tradition dating back to the early 20th century, but today they received an eye-opening gift to help with athletics. Hunt Brothers Pizza, a company based in Paris, giving the school $250,000 to help build an all-sports training facility. CEO and Paris graduate Aaron Hunt Ferguson said it's a perfect fit.
Paris Independent Schools is at, I think, a turning point. And my part in our family business is also a turning point. Getting involved in Coach Washington's efforts to encourage these athletes to be the best that they can be, and not just on the field, but also in their hearts and with their families and their friends, is exactly what I live for.
That is a lot of pizza, ladies and gentlemen. When Mark Stoops recruited former Lafayette offensive lineman Landon Young, he got in early when Young was a sophomore. Stoops is now offered another Central Kentucky prospect who's a freshman. Scott County offensive tackle Brian Hudson is in the class of 2019. Hudson goes 6'4", 260, and as a rookie, he started all 13 games at left tackle for the Cardinals last year. Former Wildcat Willie Cauley-Stein created his own personal logo a couple of years ago, and now Jamal Murray has created one as well. Murray became known for shooting the bow and arrow after draining 3-pointers, and his new logo represents Murray's reaction to hitting the target. This picture shows Murray's initials. It's kind of hard to see. It's a black-on-black scheme there, but his initials JM with an arrow right through the middle. Nyquist, last year's 2-year-old champ and this year's Florida Derby winner, was scheduled today to have one of his last works before the Kentucky Derby. But rain forcing trainer Doug O'Neill to take his Derby favorite to Keeneland's training track this morning. O'Neill will push the work back to Saturday.
Tomorrow actually is probably perfect at 2 weeks out, and I intentionally kind of planned on working them 15 days out, and kind of just to have that wiggle room in case we did get caught into some weather situations. So really tomorrow on the calendar is perfect, and you know, we're not going to ask him for a lot of speed, just his typical mile workout, you know, with him finishing up strong and just try to maintain what he is.
A softball showdown down in Dixie tonight with 11th-ranked UK, 4th-ranked Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Kentucky has had a knack this year of scoring runs in the bunches, and it has been contagious throughout the lineup. That gives confidence not only to the pitching staff, but everybody.
We're able to push through and get those runs in situations when last year we weren't really able to do that. We just counted on a few people last year, where now we have more to throw at other teams. So I think that's just confidence for the whole team.
So we'll have highlights of that tonight, as well as UK baseball. Sam and Amber, back to you.
Thank you, Brian. Final check of your first look forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, President Obama wades into a political battle across the pond.
The Castle, twice the jewelry,
half the price.
Kate's half-carat best friend true love rings at $9.95. At the Castle, get the same quality, same carat weight ring for only $5.95. Shop 10 Castle locations.
Are you digging a garden? Are you putting up a mailbox? Always call 811 before you dig. It's not just a good idea, it's the law. Columbia Gas of Kentucky.
It's Toyota on Nicholasville's 2015 Toyota Blowout. We must clear out all our remaining 2015 winter inventory, so you're getting once-in-a-lifetime blowout prices. Used 2015 Corollas, only $15,990. I'll say that again. 2015 Corollas, $15,990. Used 2015 Toyota Camrys, just $18,990. Let me repeat that. 2015 Camrys, $18,990. These blowout prices are crazy, and they won't last long. Hurry to Toyota Nicholasville, the big Toyota store. Where price sells cars. ToyotaNicholasville.com.
At Central Bank, we like to call ourselves your friendly neighborhood financial experts, because we get to help an entire community of customers achieve their financial dreams. So whether you're opening a checking account or buying your first home, you've got a team of local experts to coach you all the way.
Wow.
See what 70 years of experience can do for your financial future with Central Bank.
How many times are you going to drive off with those things?
Official bank of UK Athletics.
Step right up for something fun. For just $1, the excitement's begun. The game's called Keno, and you can play it in an alley. Or you can play it with your best friend, Sally. You can play it here or there. You could play it almost anywhere. Play with many numbers or just a few. How you play is all up to you. You can put down a little or put down a lot. So what do you say? Give Keno a shot. Just pick your numbers and hope you win, and a few minutes later, you can play it again. Now you can play Keno wherever Kentucky Lottery games are sold, fueling imagination, funding education.
Building the only trucks with the best horsepower, best towing, best torque, and best payload takes guts. Overcoming any obstacle, that's the glory. Get a great deal on the trucks that give you both during Ram Truck Month. Returning FCA US lessees finance and get $10,750 in total values on the purchase of a 2016 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
Lexington Overstock Warehouse is open this weekend for our spring cleaning warehouse sale. Get quality furniture and mattresses at incredibly low prices. Queen bed $297, sofa $397. Go to LexingtonOverstockWarehouse.com for more details.
May 3rd and 4th, EKU Center for the Arts. Get tickets at EKUcenter.com.
Are you planting a tree? Are you digging a swimming pool? Always call 811 before you dig. It's not just a good idea, it's the law. Columbia Gas of Kentucky.
All right, that is a beautiful shot downtown Lexington, and more of what's to come this weekend.
Yeah, it's just a little preview of our Saturday and Sunday. A little shower and thunderstorm action still this evening, eastern Kentucky, right around 70 tomorrow. Plenty of sunshiny skies. How about your Sunday? Right at 80 degrees, warm temperatures, beautiful sunshine. That'll carry us into Monday before we go into a pattern that will at least feature a daily threat for some showers and some thunderstorms. Good to get some rain today, though. We needed it.
Yeah, and stopping just in time for these baseball games.
Yeah, last night UK baseball was to have a blackout. They got a rainout. So tonight, their game yesterday scheduled for tonight. Now they'll play a doubleheader tomorrow. We've got UK baseball against 4th-ranked Alabama. Friday is here. The lawnmower comes out tomorrow morning because my yard needs it thanks to that guy.
And it's Carl Nathy bobblehead night tonight.
We need a Carl
a big
Nathy
deal.
bobblehead. You push and it says first down.
See you tonight at 11.